Hello, and welcome to this special episode of the Security DNA podcast. Security Business Editor-in-Chief Paul Rothman comes to us live from the CES show floor with an exclusive interview with SimpliSafe CEO Christian Cerda and Hooman Shahidi, SimpliSafe's high-tech product leader.
Okay, I'm here at CES 2025 with Christian Cerda, the CEO of SimpliSafe, and Hooman Shahidi, the Chief Product Officer. And we're going to talk about, SimpliSafe. First of all, let's just jump into CES. Christian, where are we at, with CES and SimpliSafe, and what's the messaging coming out of the company?
Thank you for inviting us to your podcast. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you.
I think that for us, CES is very important. It's a moment to sort of come check the latest technologies, latest products, and also to continue the communication of our recent launches. For example, ActiveGuard and our new outdoor cam.
Okay. So tell me more about ActiveGuard. I've written about it briefly, but tell everybody who didn't read my article, what it is.
Actually, maybe I'll pass that question to Hooman.
Yeah. So, Paul, we've been on this mission to really deliver the best possible safety outcomes for our customers. And with the launch of ActiveGuard, it's really allowed us to be able to do that, in that ActiveGuard allows us to extend the perimeter of protection of SimpliSafe, even outside the four walls of your house, and be able to take action on potential threats before a crime is even committed, and ward off potential intruders before they actually can get into the house. And that happens because through our outdoor camera, our 24/7 monitoring agents can actually intervene in an event and talk to either potential intruders or even friendly people who are on the property and make sure that that the customer stays safe.
And so it works basically with an AI camera, for lack of a better, two-way top-down capability, and what goes into it is exactly. How does it work?
Sure, yeah, absolutely. So what happens is when our customer subscribes to the service, and we take privacy very important to us. And so when our customer subscribes to the service and actually opts in cameras to our particular service, and your system is armed, either in home or away modes, if a person comes onto the property, first our camera assesses via the AI at the edge whether that's a real person or not. Then it sends it to our cloud, where the cloud makes an assessment of, is that a friendly person? And what friendly person means is, you can decide that certain people completely are fine to be on your property and share with us photos of your friends, your family, with their permission, so that we can make an assessment via biometrics whether or not that person matches that. If it does match that, great. Our agents do not get involved. We don't want to be harassing your friends and your family who are coming home to you. But if it's not, then our agents are actually informed and they get involved in an interaction. We always start with assuming good intent, right? In that, the person might be a delivery driver, or somebody coming to visit you that's not on your friendly faces list. And we say SimpliSafe Security, how can we help you? If the person is, call it a delivery driver, great. We make that interaction. We watch the person, deliver whatever they're delivering and leave the property. Then we send a report to the customer via both our app and email, if they so choose, saying, hey, you had a delivery driver come, they dropped off a package. Thanks for being a wonderful SimpliSafe customer. If it ends up being more extreme, let's say there's somebody who's carrying a crowbar trying to get into your house, then our agents escalate that to asking them to please leave the property, sounding a siren. So our outdoor cameras actually have the capability to deliver a 90 decibel siren, pretty loud. And if that doesn't work, we can escalate that all the way to dispatching the local authorities. And that's even before the traditional alarm has gone off inside your house.
Christian, how does this maintain a role in false alarm reduction, which is obviously a big issue for the alarm industry? False alarm reduction. Do you feel like that this system is a way to drastically reduce the number of false alarms?
Yeah, absolutely. But first of all, let me start by commenting on the false alarms.
Okay.
It is, from my personal point of view, completely unacceptable that as a security industry, we are still holding ourselves to sort of 80-90% false alarms ratio. There are multiple ways to sort of address this, to which we have gone. For example, in 2017, we started with video verification, and sort of as we communicate with first responders, we pass on what we see and creating that prioritization. We are also adopted AVS-01 lately as one of the first brands in the industry to adopt it, and we have gone through a whole series of sort of UX app interactions, sort of the double checking of presence. And over the last 3 years, we have had a meaningful reduction of our false alarm. I would still say that with all of that, we should do a lot more. And this is where ActiveGuard comes in. Because as Hooman was explaining, through this outdoor ring of protection, we want to prevent the crime before it happens. So it goes beyond the false alarm. We don't want the intrusion to happen. As a household, you don't want to. For sure, it's better to have an alarm than not have it, but you really don't want to be in your bedroom with a bad person down
the front door,
already inside your home at the front door.
Right.
And we launched this product already in summer, and we are seeing some sort of incredible outcomes. People with a crowbar in their hands, once they are caught by our AI and then intervened by our human agent, right? They drop the crowbar, run. Over this holiday break, we caught someone breaking into a car outside of your home, right? We have seen people sort of carrying the ladders to jump into the second floor, dropping the ladders, running. So we are seeing on real cases how this technology is keeping people safe way beyond what our traditional technology of the industry traditional technology was able.
So I'm curious then, the customer appetite for this type of a system. It seems like, I've heard in the past that there isn't a lot of appetite for this. Is that is it a price reason, or what do you think the reason is for that, or do you totally disagree with that?
So I'll start and I'll pass it on to Hooman, right, on how we're doing sort of so far. The need to feeling safe is a fundamental need, and I think all of your sort of readers and listeners,
yes,
right, readers and listeners, right,
yeah,
that are part of the industry would know that the consumer need is there and is bigger than it has ever been. So absolutely, right. Once through innovation, we can bring the solution to affordable prices, right? People absolutely want to be more secure.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think for us, there's two things that our customers really we're seeing enable the adoption of this. One is that we are offering this at a price that is well within the price range of what people pay for even just the traditional, contact sensor security,
right.
reactive.
And this includes that as well.
Correct.
Right?
So so for $49.99 a month, our customers can have this outdoor protection overnight, plus 24/7 monitored security inside their home, which is really a phenomenal value. I think that's one. I think the second is, SimpliSafe, our roots are in simplifying the experience for our customers. And I think that's the other thing that's really helped us drive adoption of this service. And I'll tell you, we did a ton of development work before we launched this service, in that we actually had proofs of concepts, alpha tests, and beta tests running for over 18 months, honing the service, making sure customers understood it, trying to simplify the user experience. to help drive adoption. And if I could just come back to one point, I want to make one point on false alarms. I think false alarms are an inconvenience for our customers. They're an inconvenience for first responders, and obviously they're an inconvenience for us as well. But I think the thing that is really a major inconvenience is the false dispatch, right? So you can have an alarm, but when it ends in dispatch, that you end up burdening the police to go to a house, that ends up causing just the entire industry to lose credibility with first responders who are already taxed. And I think ActiveGuard, as well as our indoor response that we also have through our wireless indoor camera, has really helped us drive that down as well, in that we now have so much more intelligence about what is going on in that alarm moment, that when we call the customer, right, because the process is you get a signal and you have to call the customer to confirm that they're okay or not okay. Right. We can provide that information to the customer both via our agents as well as through our app, so that they can make a much more informed decision as to whether they should go to dispatch or not. And that's really helped us drive down our dispatch, percent of alarms that result in dispatch, by I'm going to say, let's call it significantly without giving away numbers. But it's really, really exciting for us to be able to do that, because that actually is the major inconvenience for our customers.
I know SimpliSafe runs an in-house monitoring center, and how much, manpower does it take to monitor it at this level? I know the AI plays a part in it, but how much does it go into the monitoring part of this, the service, the ActiveGuard?
Yeah, so we obviously have our specialists that are specifically monitoring these the ActiveGuard. So we have agents that are doing the more traditional, and then we have ones that are dedicated specifically and trained for the ActiveGuard service. Okay. And what we are finding is, for us to be able to do this at scale, we're really leveraging sort of our vision of how we want to provide security is by taking both the combination of the technology associated, leveraging AI both across our cameras and our clouds, to focus our agents on incidences that really require them to intervene. And that's really what's enabled us to be able to offer this service at the great value that we're able to do it.
So, Christian, you're really embracing AVS-01 in that regard, I would say, setting parameters or levels to the different alarms and responses required.
Absolutely. I think AVS-01 is a great thing for the industry, and we fully support it.
Do you think AI can enhance AVS-01?
Yeah. So actually, if I can answer a slightly different question, the answer to that is yes. But let me add on Hooman's view of how we have been able to achieve offering this service at sort of $49.99 per month. And I think that there are two key drivers to how we were able to make this happen. The first one is AI, and how AI will significantly transform the security industry. And it will open solutions and use cases that were absolutely not possible before. And the depth of technology, though, that you need to have in order to make this happen is quite meaningful. And I think it will continue to open this bridge between the providers that have the depth of technologies and the ones that do not. The other thing that has enabled us to deliver this, and for us it has quite hard, and I cannot even imagine how someone or we would have pulled it off without a full vertical integration. So we design our own cameras. We work on the type and quality of the AI that lives at the edge. We write that firmware. We design our own video services, the speed of that. We have our own AI teams, both sort of that do the modeling both at the edge and in the cloud. then we run our own monitoring center. And because we can align all this tech stack under a single objective, is how we have been able to do it. Some of our competitors, or most of our competitors, who buy the hardware from one person, has the video with a second one, have sort of an alarm with a third, and a monitoring center with a fourth. I don't want to pretend here, but it's sort of philosophically the same approach as Tesla, right? Where, right, they build the AI, they build the software, they build the car.
Okay.
And they also believe that you can't pull it off by buying the AI and building the car, right?
Right.
So we have a similar philosophy that in order to pull it off, we need to find the solution coordinating all the different layers.
Excellent. So as far as AI and monitoring goes, in the industry as a whole, do you think that how is AI going to transform monitoring, do you feel?
So our personal philosophy here is that AI will have two implications. The first one is going to change the cost structure, okay, right? Because all of the non-value add will be automated.
Right. So like you'd say like level 0, level 1.
Level 0, level 1, or yes, right?
Right.
They will all be automated. Okay. And then that will open up the creation of new services like ActiveGuard that didn't exist before. Okay. Where humans, agents, will still be needed. Right?
Okay.
So I don't envision monitoring centers disappearing.
Okay.
Right? And what we envision and is part of our SimpliSafe philosophy is the integration of technology and people to provide security that is, security is transactional and it's emotional. Right? So I'm not sure that AI can yet pull off the emotional side.
Not yet. Anyway.
Right, yes, and the complete understanding of what's happening. So there will definitely be a role for humans, for agents, for monitoring center, but what they are doing will change drastically.
Yeah, I think the other piece I would also not forget is that when it comes to the customer, they want that peace of mind knowing that there's a person involved in keeping them safe. And I think that is probably going to stay with us long after the technology has advanced. I think I'm going to bring back Christian's whole idea of self-driving and Tesla, right? There's so many people who, even if it's perfect, will not feel comfortable with the car driving itself because they want that person behind the wheel,
or at least a foot on the brake.
Yeah, so I think there's going to be some time before you have that level of comfort of hey, I am paying SimpliSafe to keep me safe, not I'm paying some cloud server somewhere in Nebraska to keep me safe.
Right. Do you think it's important to get that messaging out that the AI to take care of the low-level things will free up people to be able to take care of it when it matters?
Right, and I think I also, talking with many of the other sort of industry leaders, nobody has the crystal ball here. Maybe AI will leave all of us without jobs, etc. But some of the solutions there are, hey, my watch calls the 911 directly. Not clear that provides security either. Right. Our philosophy is the automation will transform the industry is absolutely needed. It's not sufficient.
So let's shift gears. Let's talk about the industry. We've talked about the monitoring industry. Let's talk about the alarm industry. And since SimpliSafe came onto the scene, there's been this adversarial relationship between the traditional alarm providers and the DIY providers, and SimpliSafe, specifically, mainly because there's so much marketing, right? You see SimpliSafe almost everywhere at this point. What is Christian? What do you feel is the important role that SimpliSafe needs to take in our industry to kind of bring everybody together, or something to that effect?
Yeah, I think I appreciate that question, right? And I would divide this in two, right? Because I think all brands and teams, we should all compete, right? We should all try to make ourselves better, push ourselves better for who wins the next customer. right?
Right.
And I think
That's fair.
Yes, and I think that is in the essence of all of us, right? We're all trying to gain a household, etc., right? So I think it's great, and it will push us all to become better. On the other hand, security is a need, and as an industry, we need to pull together to do it better. Right, sort of AVS-01 is an example, right? We fully support it, right? The monitoring association sort of is another one.
Right.
We should we are part, and we absolutely support it, right? Okay. Things like sort of automating the signal versus a phone call.
Right.
We should absolutely move the industry sort of together forward, right? Making sure that we are not absorbing too much of the capacity of first responders. We absolutely need to pull together as an industry and serve our customers, our communities, the first responders. We should all sort of team there and find common solutions to take care of the problem that we are solving better.
And you've mentioned the philosophy of SimpliSafe. What if you could put it into words? What would that be?
Right. So our mission is to keep every home secure. Our vision is to do it through the integration of expert security agents and technology. And some of our founding difference is our channel of distribution.
Okay.
Right.
Right.
That we sort of sell mostly direct from our website, and I think most of the industry sells mostly door to door. But I would say that lately everyone is merging.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, right? And if I see some of the traditional competitors, most of them or all would have a website. Right?
Yes.
But I think all of them,
yes.
all of us, right? We all have a telesales channel, right?
Right.
So, and I would say that a recent change that we have had is we offer professional installation.
I was just about to ask.
Right? We do it through a sort of third-party provider, OnTech.
Okay.
But some customers prefer pro install, right?
Right. Exactly.
And other customers are sort of efficient enough to do the self-install themselves.
Okay.
So there are different type of customers, and there are different ways of giving value to them. And there is absolutely, right, a place for the local
alarm guy.
The local alarm guy, right? That if I would sort of advise to them is, hey, provide an amazing service to their household. Visit them. Make sure that their alarms sort of are working well, that their sensor is working right. Make sure that customer is satisfied.
Right.
I mean, you have an incredible advantage for being local. Make sure that your customer is sort of happy, and there will be a place for them, right?
Right.
On our side, right, we're sort of on the other side of the extreme. We're trying to make our system every time more easy to install, more easy to use.
Okay.
And we are trying to sort of attend to the household that is looking for that.
Right. So penetration rate is what it is, and it's been pretty static for the most part. Do you feel like that these sort of solutions, your philosophy combined with the older philosophy, will raise that rate to where everybody wants it to?
Yeah, absolutely. Around half of our new subscribers are new to the market.
Okay.
Half of our subscribers are existing customers of some other brand that switched. So actually, we are living proof that sort of, sure, there will be some people that sort of say, hey, I can install it, and right, I can pay less if I install it, right? And they will switch. But there is also the industry creation that we are riding because we are offering sort of more value.
So the whole rising tide lifts all boats philosophy?
I mean, I think the other thing I would also add in there is the competition, like, you say adversarial, yeah, sure, to the extent that we are competitors, but I don't think we hold any ill will against anybody else who's in this category, because the reality is, if you think about our mission, keep every home secure, competition is great for customers. And I think if you look at the last since SimpliSafe was founded, the quality and the level of security that all competitors have been able to provide has significantly improved because there's more competition in the market. So we think that's great.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, really, guys, I really appreciate this. This is a really great talk, and I'm sure everybody's going to be interested to listen to it. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks to Paul, Christian, and Hooman for this look behind the curtain at CES. If you want to check out the rest of our podcast lineup, search for Security DNA on podbean.com. You can also find our podcasts in our Security Frontline, Integrator Newswire, and Security Week e-newsletters. For everyone here at Security InfoWatch, thank you for tuning in.